People often believe that younger people are better at fighting because they're swift, stronger, and recover faster. Age, on the other hand, gives you experience. Our advice is to watch out for the old fighter who still steps into the ring with confidence, even when the opponent is a much younger man. Here are the 9 old men you don't want to mess with. 9. Fabricio Werdum. Born in Brazil on July 30th, 1977, Fabricio Werdum is a mixed martial artist who used to be the UFC heavyweight champion. At age 24, he started his career and competed in the heavyweight division. He's a 4-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, 2-time Abu Dhabi Combat Club heavyweight champion, and European Jiu-Jitsu champion. He's a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, and Muay Thai. Werdum has fought in the UFC, Strikeforce, Jungle Fight, and Pride. He was ranked number 14 when he left the UFC. At 42, he fought Alexander the Mauler Gustafsson in the heavyweight class, but the bout didn't last past the first round. Gustafsson started the bout aggressively, throwing punches in all directions. It's funny that he thought it would be the easiest way to beat Fabricio. All Werdum had to do was study his opponent, and when the opportunity presented itself, the result was a leg lock. Gustafsson did everything he could to get away from the hold, but he was soon locked into submission. That was it. The match was over. Werdum has fought once since leaving the UFC in late 2020. His PFL debut was a TKO loss, but the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board ruled it's a no contest when Renan Ferreira appeared to tap out before the end. Fabricio Werdum, on the other hand, is not done yet. He had planned to retire but has since changed his mind. Werdum is eager to fight again and add to his legend. The former UFC heavyweight champion and decorated jiu-jitsu contender hopes to fight again this summer. 8. Bernard Hopkins. Hopkins, nicknamed the Executioner and later the Alien, is widely recognized as one of the best boxers of the modern era, having won 55 of his 67 matches and numerous world championship titles in 2 weight divisions. In 2013, at age 48, Hopkins became the oldest boxer to win a major title. Then the following year, at 49, he broke his own record. 2 years before retiring, Hopkins beat Beibut Shumenov for the light heavyweight belt. The initial rounds of the fight were relatively slow because of the bout's methodical pace. Still, Hopkins threw a powerful blow in the final round and put up a fantastic display. Hopkins won the fight based on the judge's decision, but he lost his last fight to Joe Smith Jr. when he was 51. Hopkins is obsessed with staying in shape and getting better at his craft, which allowed him to continue fighting when most boxers had already stopped. Bernard quit boxing in 2016 at the age of 52. He holds the records for oldest boxing world champion, most consecutive middleweight title defenses, and longest lasting middleweight title at 10 years and 3 months. Today, Hopkins is a minority partner in Golden Boy Promotions. 7. Anderson Silva. Anderson the Spider Silva is a Brazilian-American MMA fighter and boxer. He previously held the middleweight UFC championship, and his 2,457-day title reign is the longest in UFC history. This lasted from 2006 to 2013. During that time, he achieved a UFC record 16 straight victories. Silva has been celebrated as one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time. In November 2020, he quit the UFC and went back to boxing. Silva fought Derek Brunson at UFC 208, showing the kid just how good a fighter he still was. The bout lasted a total of 3 rounds. Silva's ferocious kicks didn't spare Brunson. In March 2021, Silva was scheduled to box Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. on June 19, 2021. Silva won by a split decision. Silva was the more active boxer throughout the bout, landing 392 punches to Chavez Jr.'s 153. Silva fought former UFC light heavyweight champion Tito Ortiz in a pro boxing match on September 11, 2021. He succeeded by knockout in the first round. 6. Mark Coleman. Mark Coleman is an American former MMA fighter, professional wrestler, NCAA collegiate wrestler, and Olympic amateur wrestler. Nicknamed the Hammer, Coleman won UFC 10 and 11, was the inaugural UFC heavyweight champion, and won the Pride 2000 Openweight Grand Prix. Coleman was inaugurated into the UFC Hall of Fame at UFC 82. In the Pride 2000 Openweight Grand Prix, Coleman competed against the undefeated champion Igor Vovchanchyn, who had a 37-fight win streak. Coleman took Vovchanchyn down, controlling and attacking from inside the guard, negating Igor's decisive striking game and scoring with a double-leg takedown. Coleman finished the fight with a series of heavy knees. 9 years later, he re-entered the UFC and beat Stephan Bonnar at UFC 100. After 3 rounds of one of the year's bloodiest fights, Coleman was declared the winner. The wise old hound taught the youngster a thing or two. Coleman's final fight occurred at UFC 109 when he announced his retirement. He fought fellow UFC Hall of Famer Randy Couture. Coleman was outboxed and beaten by a rear naked choke in round 2. The fight was the first between 2 UFC Hall of Famers. Coleman was one of the first in American MMA to effectively adopt the ground and pound tactics, earning him the title of the Godfather of Ground and Pound. 5. Steve Ward. Steve Ward is an English professional boxer and the oldest active boxer in the world. His status was first established in 2011 at the age of 54 and again at age 59. It's safe to say that Steve Ward has seen and done it all in boxing. With 3 Guinness World Records and a world title at 65, he has come a long way since making his professional debut in the late 70s. Ward left the sport on a high note, capturing his first world title belt in his final bout. The 65-year-old easily defeated the 50-year-old Romanian Adrian Parlogia, knocking him down 3 times and winning the battle in 3 minutes. Ward won the inaugural World Cruiserweight Championship in the gold category of the World Legends Championships for fighters aged 50 to 65. 4. Ernesto Bergamasco. Ernesto Bergamasco is a 72-year-old former boxer from Italy. This superstar fought well against a 26-year-old MMA fighter despite his knee injury. He walked in there wearing sweatpants and a shirt and proved to that man that he was still a badass. The young fighter thought he could beat the old man based on his appearance. He got into the ring and challenged Ernesto, who agreed. After a few minutes, the teenager couldn't land a punch, so Ernesto dropped 2 jabs on him. The youth, still believing he had a shot, went for it one more time, but Ernesto threw him a swift left hook. The youngster backed up to gain some air, but Ernesto continued throwing him hard blows until the young fighter called the battle off. This will be the last time this younger boxer underestimates anyone. 3. Floyd Mayweather Sr. During a sparring battle, the 61-year-old father of Floyd Mayweather Jr. was sucker punched by 23-year-old Charlie Zelenoff. Then everything went straight to hell. Despite Zelenoff's roughly 40-year age advantage, it was clear from the start that he was attempting to knock out his opponent as he loaded up on every strike. Zelenoff, eager to show off his skills, continued with the punches until the referee stepped in so Floyd could breathe. I suppose that was the break needed because he immediately went straight for Zelenoff with jab after jab while the kid tried to escape to the point of leaving the ring. But the match was far from over. As Mayweather, who thought the comedy was done, turned and went away, Zelenoff charged in and delivered a sucker punch. It's uncertain if he actually landed it or merely tried. Mayweather's entourage pursued him and gave him a considerably worse thrashing than the old guy. And the videos from the incident showed Zelenoff crawling out of the ring after being beaten. Fans showed little sympathy for Zelenoff, and one boxing fan said he was fortunate that Mayweather Jr. wasn't present. As most of you know, Floyd Sr. is a boxing trainer and former pro fighter. During his welterweight career in the 70s and 80s, he was known for his defensive talents and boxing tactics. 2. Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield is a boxing legend whose exploits are well known worldwide, not just for being the victim of Mike Tyson's notorious ear bite. The American powerhouse debuted in 1984 and retired in 2011. He may have had some losses at the end of his career due to overstaying his welcome, but he is universally regarded as one of the all-time greats. Holyfield competed with the likes of Tyson, George Foreman, Riddick Bowe, and Lennox Lewis during the most competitive time in heavyweight boxing history. Although most of his opponents were more extensive and heavier than he was during his brilliant career, he has no record of shying away from a fight. For most of his matches, Holyfield weighed 98.9 kilograms and was 6 feet 3 inches tall. His final record was 44 wins, 10 losses, and 2 draws until he finally decided to hang up the gloves and retire. After a career that required such devotion and intensive training, you might think boxers would want to relax. However, an Instagram post by Holyfield reveals that he has done the exact opposite. Holyfield, 58, appears as though he could enter the ring at a moment's notice, even though he's been retired for 11 years. Number 1, old bodybuilder. Even though he's 64 years old, this dude is in great physical shape. He can undertake things that practically all individuals, even younger people, find difficult. His physique is superior to and outshines the bodies of 99% of men his age. He moves without swaying or stumbling, displaying mastery of his body's every movement. Most individuals boast about their skills and knowledge. However, he displays and teaches these young men by example. He patiently instructs them while performing pull-ups and push-ups with grace. As a well-oiled machine, he performs to perfection. When he exercises, can you see the firmness and serenity in his body? He is definitely admired by his students. It's evident that this guy, with all his well-built muscles and perpetual calm, is a man you don't want to engage in a fight. A word of caution though, if an elderly fighter punches his face before coming at you, be prepared for the worst. You think you're some kind of macho guy, huh? Which of these elite heavyweights do you believe you would be able to defeat in a fight? Let us know in the comments section. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. Thanks for watching.